they're practiced in speaking to themselves, and they will speak for themselves. There are other premiers who have different view in terms of the utility of those ads, and you can speak to them. I'll repeat what the situation is with those who actually have been talking with the Americans and have been negotiating with the Americans. We start from this position, which it does bear remembering, that we are in a position where 85% of our trade is tariff-free. We, like every other country in the world, okay? Every other country in the world has issues if they produce any of the following: steel, aluminum, automobiles, pharmaceuticals, forest products, with 232, so-called 232 tariffs in the United States. And so that's what we're having discussions with, or that's what we were having discussions with with the Americans. That's where we're negotiating. We were making progress. Those talks are suspended. That's the situation at present. And it has a couple of implications. One of the core implications is it absolutely validates the strategy we have had from day one, which is to focus on the things we can control. Yes, negotiate with the United States. Of course, that's important. But building Canada at home, which is what this budget is going to do, with generational investments, the scale of investment that this country has never seen before. That's what this budget is looking to unlock, and to be building new partnerships with countries around the world. And there is no better place to do that than in the fastest growing part of the world that represents 60% of the global economy. We can adjust for the American component of that, but there's everyone else. So if I take it down to a little more than 40% of the global economy, ex the United States. And those are the discussions we're having. And you can see the traction we're getting. Free trade deal with Indonesia. Free trade talks now launched with Philippines and Thailand, two of our largest. We already have free trade through something called the CPTPP with a number of those other economies. A turning point in our relationship with China. Progress which we have been making with India. Not part of these meetings, so I didn't meet directly with Prime Minister Modi here. The foreign minister, other ministers have been meeting with India. That's what we're doing to build our strength at home first and foremost, build these partnerships abroad, reduce our reliance on the United States. It can't happen overnight, but we're moving very fast.
With respect, Prime Minister, the United States makes up more than 75% of our trade.
I'm well aware of that, yeah.
Yes. You apologized to Donald Trump. He's not going back to the table. He has no interest. So what are you doing? What is your next move? Or are you close to striking out?
Oh, very clever. No, I just fouled one off. You know, the count is full, but we're battling like the Jays. Look, the next move is on Tuesday. The next move is the budget. It's the budget for this time. The budget the country needs. The budget that gives us control. See, this is one of the things. We can spend our time watching Truth Social, worrying about the reactions of individual things. We are staying calm, okay? We're focusing on what we can control, which first and foremost is how we build at home. And secondly, with our negotiations with the U.S., when they're on, when they come back on, is what's in the best interests of Canada. Not emotional, what's in the best interests of Canada. They will only agree, the Americans will only agree, as is the case in any trade negotiation, something that also is in the U.S. interest. There are a number of things where those interests align. And we'll wait until they're ready.
Next question. Raf.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister. Raf Abjikanyan, CBC. Following your meeting with President Xi, neither Canada's readout or China's made mention of you bringing up things such as legal detention camps or the transnational repression in Canada or Beijing's foreign interference into Canadian elections. Did you bring these issues up?
We had a discussion on foreign interference. We had a discussion on a range of other issues. You know, recognizing that setting it back on track, particularly on the economic side, was an important part of the discussion. Et ce qui est important, on commence en français, ce qui est important, d'avoir l'occasion d'avoir des discussions à le plus haut niveau. Il n'y a pas de discussion, on peut parler de tous les sujets que vous l'avez mentionné. mais seulement avec les Canadiens, pas avec les Chinois. Il faut avoir un rapport, une ligne directe avec le président et le premier ministre de la Chine. Et maintenant, c'est établi pour la première fois dans presque 8 ans. Alors, ça c'est la première chose. Deuxièmement, en ce qui concerne les discussions, oui, nous avons eu une discussion sur l'entente étrangère, mais la plupart des discussions sont sur des enjeux économiques. Mais en même temps, c'est une discussion d'établir les principes. Ce sera, I will translate in a second. Ce sera le principe d'être pragmatique, ouverte, franche pour nous deux dans la discussion. Pas de surprise, en effet. And I think if I can finish to loop back. So the other element of the discussion, which is something you do in a relationship as opposed to a transaction, not suggesting your question was transactional in any respect, but I'd like to distinguish how some other discussions go, is to be clear about the expectations, that we will be pragmatic, that we will be open and frank with each other on issues, and there are issues of challenge, and where we can find common ground, we'll find common ground, and where we have differences, and there are big differences in our societies and in our governments, we'll respect those. Okay?
So how did he react when you mentioned foreign interference in the Canadian
Look,
elections?
we had a discussion that was, our overall discussion was constructive, and it was number one, constructive. Number two, marked a turning point in the relationship. I don't think they recognize the level of concerns we have about these issues, but we manage these issues in Canada. We have a structure to manage them. And look, I'm going to repeat what I said because it's very important. It doesn't do any good to talk to ourselves about these issues alone. It's important that we are engaged with the world's largest country by population, second largest economy by value, and increasingly influential, determinant, not just influential, determinant of the global system. So we need to be back in there, and now we are back in having those discussions.
Next question.
And I guess the last one, I'm sorry, I'm going to drone on for 1 sec. And the point of having the relationship is, if you have a relationship, you see people multiple times. It's not a one and done, and that's where we are. Thank you.
Next question.
Hi, Prime Minister. Sarah Ritchie with the Canadian Press. If you cast your mind back to April during the election campaign, I know it feels like a long time ago for me, you told Canadians that China was the biggest security threat to this country and to Canadians. Do you still believe that to be the case? I
think we have to manage all our threats. There are a number of threats from a country mentioned, Russia. We have non-state actor threats, which are